The following special presentation is rated E for excellence. Welcome to the 2022 Model of Excellence Awards Ceremony. The President's Model of Excellence Award is Newport News Shipbuilding's highest employee honor, recognizing the shipyard's greatest problem solvers, the innovators, and those who lead the way.
There's definitely challenges every day, but that's what shipbuilders are here for, is to overcome those challenges. So that's probably the most rewarding part of our job, is to work through those details to accomplish our goal, building great ships.
A lot of people don't realize it day to day, and then, after we finish a lot of our big jobs, you kind of can sit back and realize what you just accomplished and how important it really is, not just for the company, but for America.
And watching those folks come in every day and do what they're good at, they feel valued, they feel good about themselves. And when you stack that from 1 all the way to 20 and 100 and 200, you then create a team that feels like they're creating value and they drive synergy. So the impossible that was once known is now something that's possible.
I mean, to get recognized, I think it's a major morale booster to see that we put in all this hard work and, somebody can give us, I guess, more than a pat on the back and be like, hey, good job for what you did. I mean, the recognition, the big morale booster.
How many people get to come to a place like this every day and work on the things or see the things that we get to see? So we are able to be a part of the workforce that gets to help keep our sailors safe, help have the best Navy in the world, and deliver those sailors home safely to their families that impact more of our country than we even realize.
The model of excellence, personally to me, it shows that we're at the top of our game and we're doing the best we can to try to help this company be successful.
Yeah, it's all about the transformation of the shipyard. I mean, that's all what we're about. We want to keep pushing because we know that if we stagnate or if we kind of go back to our old ways, we aren't making any progress. It's all about progress. We want to do what we can to make tomorrow a better place for us today.
And now, your 2022 Model of Excellence honorees. 273 shipbuilders. 16 projects in all. Defying the odds, raising the bar, and living the legacy of always good ships. Our first group of honorees joined forces to support the Navy when the aircraft carrier Enterprise CVN-80 needed a design change. The work required 8 miles of thicker, heavier pipe, along with modifications to more than 10,000 weld joints. To make this happen, our honorees developed a new process and built 2 one-of-a-kind rigs to assist with the effort. Please welcome Jacob Denson to tell us more about this project.
12 years ago, I was working for a paper mill in Franklin, Virginia, and they decided to close the doors on the place, and luckily for me, the shipyard came calling, and it really has been a pretty good experience. I've been able to go through the apprentice school, and they have really done a million things for me to get me in the position I'm in today. I would say the experience has been very well. I honestly think it's the people you work around. Yeah, I've made relationships over here with people that I probably would have never met in my life, and to be able to come over here and work with them every day is really an honor. So the detail pipe shop, we put out pipe details. You know, we work them from the start to the finish. We supply the ship with all the details they get in order to build the ship. So when we come to work every day, we got to take it seriously. We got to get our job done. We got to put out quality product. But at the same time, you want to have fun. And that's why when you look around the shop, you'll see things being named, such as Dave, the bending machine. We've got the pinball machine. And I think Bob and Sharon really fit into that product. So Bob and Sharon kind of came about due to necessity and quite frankly a little bit of, I guess you could say, being scared. We found out a few years ago that they were changing the JP5 system. The JP5 system, which is the jet fuel system, was changed by the Navy in order to enhance and help the longevity of the system over the course of its lifespan with the CVN-80 Enterprise and the CVN-81 Doris Miller. It was going from a thinner wall pipe to a much heavier wall pipe. And they were also changing our joint design from an easy fitting type to a very difficult fitting type. So we sat down and figured out that this is going to really affect how we do things in the pipe shop. This is going to be more crane lifts, you're putting more weight in people's hands, you're changing the joint type, which changes the way we have to prep the pipe. We found out that we were going to be doing over 10,000 joints with this new type of joint. So we started brainstorming, coming up with ideas. We went to different shops, looked at some of the things they were doing. Again, we got the mechanics involved and just kind of put it all together with 3 or 4 different pieces of equipment that they use outside of the shipyard. Things they use for building cars, putting engines in. The one piece on it is actually an elbow holder for welding machines. So we just kind of pieced it together, and that's what created Bob and Sharon. I think the company really does a great job of finding new equipment, but a lot of the times they don't get the mechanic involved. So you see that new equipment just kind of pushed over to the side, not being used. Well, in this case, we got them involved heavily saying, hey, you're going to be the ones doing this stuff. What can we do to help you? And they came up with the ideas, they came up with the designs, and it's something that they utilize on a daily basis. Sharon was designed to hold a tri-tool. So a tri-tool is a piece of machine that we use to prep the pipe. It weighs 84 pounds. So you don't want somebody picking that thing up and having to place it in a pipe, so we put it on a stand. Bob in particular is capable of holding elbows that weigh up to 200 pounds. I think it's actually rated for 500 pounds. The elbows we get, the heaviest one is about 150, 160. So when you put it on there, you don't have to worry about it toppling over. It takes the mechanic out of place and puts it all on the machine, so the mechanic's not putting a strain on their back trying to hold it in place. We were given a challenge. When we first looked at it, we thought, this is going to really change the way we fit pipe in the shop. You know, we've been doing it a certain way for a good 50, 60 years, however long it's been. To be able to come together as a team and come up with these designs and ideas, it really shows that you can accomplish anything. Winning the award, like I said, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to the team. I don't think it's just something we're going to hang on the wall and look at. It's something that'll be in our minds for a while.
Congratulations, Jacob and team. An aircraft carrier's reactor vessel to primary shield tank weld is among the most challenging jobs in shipbuilding, taking weeks with strict government oversight. Rising to the challenge, the CVN-80 welding team applied lessons learned from John F. Kennedy CVN-79 to improve the process. Joining us is Effany King to tell us more about this significant accomplishment.
When I first walked in the gate, I barely knew what tools were. I knew the basic, like a hammer and a crescent wrench and about that. But I know nothing about no needle guns or no grinders, anything like that. My progression as a welder, I would say it's gotten a lot better, but a lot of that was it was thanks to the people when I moved along in my apprenticeship. Like, if you ask them, they'll help you out, and they taught me a lot. I mean, I don't think you gotta be a celebrity to work here, and I don't think most people come here to put their name in lights or anything like that. I mean, at the end of the day, anybody can work here. It's just all about, I guess, asking people for help and be able to receive it. And then once you get that help and you've worked on your trade and on your craft, and just having the confidence of, hey, I can do this job, I know what I'm doing. Our team, we work in the covered module outfitting facility, and we're working on the critical components for CVN 80, the new enterprise. And the welds that we did, it took a lot of precision and kind of no mistakes can be made type of deal. And then we came together as a team because there was a first shift and a third shift, 12 hours a day, and we did it around the clock. So the job in particular, when we worked it, personally for me, it was the first time I worked it, as well as another guy on the crew, Johnson. It was his first time too. Everybody else, they've pretty much done one before. And I would say that they really helped out because, I mean, they had the knowledge. And in pretty much the previous boats, it took 121 days for them to complete it, but we did it in 53 days. And we had no injuries, and we had first-time quality. The reason why I do this is because I got a son at home. I guess he's always in the back of my mind. That's why I do this and why I try to be the best. So maybe I can pass down what I know to him. So maybe he'll be a ship fitter or a ship builder or welder when he grows up. I just don't know. Or maybe he'll serve on the ship. And also, I'm here for my team members because we usually see them more often than we see our own family. So I don't want to disappoint them. I mean, for me and my crew, it's pretty much like you should have seen people's faces when we got told that we won the award. I mean, people was happy. I mean, they felt like I'm doing something and people see what I'm doing. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, you kind of you gotta have a want to do it. I mean, because can't just anybody come in here and put these ships together. You gotta actually want to do the job and put them together. I mean, because this is important, because there's gonna be like probably hundreds of thousands of men and women that's gonna be on these ships for years to come.
Thanks, Effany, and congratulations to the Enterprise Welding team. Thousands of new employees are joining the shipyard, and they'll need top-notch training to be job-ready. Our next honorees are taking a new approach through virtual reality. The team's Observer application creates lifelike simulations so employees can train in a shipyard environment without the shipyard risks. Representing the team is Jessica Hansford.
When we started off with this, we did not think it would turn into what it is today. It was just an easier way to train people, and yeah, I mean, anything's possible. If you have an idea and you think that it could better improve how we do something around the shipyard, bring it up, because you never know what could happen. Our Model of Excellence Award was for enhancing training, and it started as just a project for our inspectors, and it kind of morphed into a shipyard-wide thing. Well, previously, you know, we do a lot of PowerPoint training here. It's not the most exciting form of training, and that's the big part about training. You don't just want to train and throw information at somebody. You want them to actually remember the information you give to them. We call it facilitated learning. So we use a virtual reality headset. You can buy this at any video gaming store, so it's something a lot of people already own. And then you just put the headset on and you jump right into a virtual environment. Well, we came up with the idea because we had done some research and other companies were using virtual reality to train their people. So we came up with an app called Observer that our partners at Dogfish Labs did all the background work on to create. It's a video game where we can create a shipboard or shop space and we can use it to train our shipbuilders. Dogfish Labs, our partners who actually won the award with us, and we gave them ideas on what to create and then they came up with the environment. Well, previously with training, you know, we do a lot of mock-ups, which can be expensive and time-consuming. The headset is relatively inexpensive, and you can create any number of environments in there. It saves us a lot of money, saves us a lot of time. Once they get the base environment done, it's very easy to alter that environment for whatever your learning needs are. It's fun. It's fun training. You don't get a lot of that with PowerPoints and in-person class training. So we're finding that a lot of our newer generation shipbuilders and even some of the guys who've been here for 40 plus years, they're retaining the information better, which is a big thing because we want to make sure that they're catching all those safety things and stuff like that. Well, when we first started off, we did not have over 1,000 different combinations of environments we could create. It was 2 environments with the exact same anomalies in them. And then it was fun and it was really interactive and we got a lot of great feedback from it, but the problem was the environments never changed. So people would come in and they'd get bored after a while. So then we came up with the idea of, okay, we need to be able to alter these environments so that we can make this more exciting. And once we did that, it just took off from there. Yeah, currently with the 11,000 modifications we can make on it, it's just the beginning, honestly. We're about 2 years into this project and we have grown substantially. I see it going shipyard wide. We've even had some meetings with some of Norfolk Naval, talking to them about implementing some of the same similar training at their place too. I love it. I love teaching people new things, and especially like with our safety training that we do in the virtual reality world, if that can make a difference just to save one person from making a dire mistake, I mean, that means everything to me. The VR game kind of intrigues a lot of our newer, younger shipbuilders that are coming in, and it gets them more excited about learning.
Thank you, Jessica, and congratulations to the team on this innovation. Our next group of honorees also opened doors for shipyard innovation. When construction on Enterprise required new specialized door hinges for the reactor compartment, shipbuilders used additive manufacturing to make the hinges themselves. Here to tell us more about this unique solution is Rich Wilmuth.
A lot of new processes aren't easy, but it's so encouraging to see that, you know, our customer actually means it. You know, let's give this new idea a try. So this project was fascinating on many levels, and what it is we took a component that was going to be extremely late and cause scheduling issues, and we're looking for solutions. And so one of those solutions was brought to me and said, hey, can we additively manufacture these reactor compartment door hinges? And my first thought was, this is going to be very challenging because, not necessarily because of the technical aspects, but because of all the approvals that would be necessary. So what my team did was we decided to keep pushing until someone told us no. This hinge is, it is simple. It's just as simple as most other hinges. However, it's got a very important job, and that job is to keep the door that keeps containment in the reactor compartment affixed to the bulkhead and to operate properly. And so, you know, and it's just kind of like the whole additive manufacturing idea. It's simple in what it is. You know, there's multiple ways to additively manufacture parts, but what this was building hinges out of weld wire. So it's called wire-based additive manufacturing. And so with that, it's robotic welding, and you're making a part. A robot is making a part by welding layers and layers on. So the concept is simple, but when you get into the details, it's very, very complex and you know, it's complicated. And so we started drafting a letter to our prime contractor, Lincoln Electric, and to the Navy to ask for permission to move forward with this. And something that I've never seen in the shipyard is unprecedented in my time. We developed a process, a qualification plan, and had approval from the Navy in under 10 weeks. And that is actually kudos to many different parties. You know, my group worked very hard on it, and I'm thankful that they get celebrated with this award as well. But you know, our prime contractor and the Navy, they stepped up and they were excited about it, just like we were, because it's new technology, and it's paving the way for what we can do in other items in the future. So the first enterprise was, you know, all about innovation. so I think it was very appropriate that we, you know, have the first permanent AM part on the second enterprise. It could have happened on any other ship, and we would have gone through the same steps. But we just feel like it's very appropriate and you know, kind of exciting that it happened on CVN 80.
Well done, Rich, and congratulations, team. Safety is paramount, especially with reactor work. Our next team proved this during a nuclear reactor evolution at the Kenneth A. Kesselring site. This highly coordinated effort required extensive engineering, planning, and training, resulting in flawless execution. Here to share the story is Matt Jeffrey.
Well, I grew up not too far from here in Pocosin, Virginia, and I've always seen it. I studied engineering at college and just applied for a job, and I really liked what, you know, the departments that I interviewed with, and they took a chance on me, so you know, it's been a good ride ever since I started. So shipbuilding in New York, that sounds different, right? The area is like a postcard. The Adirondack Mountains are gorgeous. The surrounding areas they're very beautiful. The lakes, the winter time, there's true 4 seasons. You get the best of everything, even if you can survive the winter. Tucked away inside of this area is, you know, near Boston Spa, New York, is the Kesselring site, which is where the Navy trains our nuclear sailors and how to be operators out there on the nation's ships. And that's where the stage was, in a valley where the site is, and that's where the prototype sits on the ground, and that's where we executed our work. That job is so important because that's going to be the training wheels that our sailors are going to train on for the future. And without the crew, we can't move the ships around and protect our country. So our effort on pump down and power unit was the peak. That was the Super Bowl. We didn't skip a beat. Everyone was laser focused. Everyone was sharp. We had some challenges. We overcame them as a team, and it was in my career, that was the best thing and biggest accomplishment we've had, and we all knew it. It was truly first of a kind, and that's going to pave the way for how we approach certain work for reactor servicing in the future, for inactivations. Some of the techniques and some of the new innovation type and, you know, principle-based thinking that we applied to this project. So working with our team at the Kesselring site, we were faced with adversity. We always found a way. That seems to be a knack everywhere we go. It was a great mixture of people, newer folks, people that have been around for a long time, and we just gelled. And we didn't know that we would get this award. We weren't gunning for that. We were just wanting to get the job done and the way that we planned. We actually did a virtual work instruction to model and get through the logistics of the job. And we were very accurate with it. Even with our problems, we were, from start to finish, it was very accurate. It was really pretty awesome how well we were able to get there.
Great job, Matt, and congratulations to the team. Our next honorees are leading the way in fire prevention. As safety champions for aircraft carrier John F. Kennedy, they implemented fire safety improvements and conducted audits to ensure the ship is a safe environment for shipbuilders and sailors. Recent shipboard fires in the Navy have demonstrated just how important fire prevention is. Thanks to these winners, the shipyard is strengthening its culture of safety. Please welcome Tashant Banks to share the team's experience.
In the last 5 years, I've been able to experience a lot, from being on the subs to being on carriers to overhaul to being on a ship that isn't even complete yet. And it's always something new, especially as an apprentice, rotating constantly. It's a very, very different place. It's not like anything I've seen before up until, being here for 5 years. Like I've said, the biggest part is coming in and leaving the same way that you came. Our motto of Excellence Award was to inspire a safety improvement culture through fire prevention. Due to multiple fire incidents, the emphasis on fire safety has been highlighted between multiple shipyards throughout the nation. Not in this company specifically, but the USS Bonhomme Richard, an amphibious ship in San Diego, and the USS Miami, a sub in Maine. They emphasize the importance of fire safety, and it's very, very important that we control these fires, because not only were there firefighters hurt, there were employees hurt, and just as I want to go home to my family, I'm sure them people wanted to go home to their family. All fires are detrimental, or can be detrimental, and can be very harmful, but being inside the shipyard, a small city of its own, a fire could halt what we're doing for the nation, the Navy, and the people around us. It could slow down production. People can lose, be hurt, or, lose jobs because of the fire. So daily, the crew, the construction supervisors on John F. Kennedy and CVN 79, we're tasked with finding safety issues and chasing them down and having them resolved. So we were able to highlight exactly what it meant to be safe and what it meant to, know these things and the processes of handling it. As a kid, we practiced all of these things, and it probably went out the window as we got older because we became complacent. So daily, we were tasked with making sure casualty stations were in place so that if anything were to happen, we could easily contact the fire department. I would check the fire zone bulkheads, which are these areas on the boat where it's a watertight door, and then it has a coaming in the corner, typically like a 6-inch coaming. The wires shouldn't run through the fire zone bulkhead, because if a fire was to spread, we want to be able to close those doors. I guess it's just putting the emphasis on it. You have projects where fire safety is important, but they don't really highlight how important it is. And then just, highlighting the locations of fire extinguishers or the barrels with the foam and stuff inside of it. Just putting emphasis on where those are located and how to quickly access those during a fire, I guess, is where we excel. And the hopes would be to, spread it yard wide. My biggest thing was, completing the task that I did have while not losing, I guess, the urge to do it, so to speak. It did become repetitive, but it had its reason. And again, I didn't understand until coming into the role what it meant. But it's also a good thing knowing that we have all hands on deck when coming to preventing or, knowing what to do if something like this were to happen. As far as the Navy, shipbuilders, and even our fire team. And we hope that, the steps that we took to prevent these fires could spread yard wide, spread to other shipyards if need be, and to other, ships within the Navy. Every day I come in, and I get my job done and go home. So to see that we were actually acknowledged for doing something, and I guess setting the standard within the company is actually an honor.
Thank you, Tashant, and thank you, Safety Champions. At a build rate of 2 per year, the Virginia-class program requires constant submarine production. The nuclear pipe welding team prioritized collaboration and knowledge sharing to maintain this ambitious schedule. Working around the clock, our honorees nearly doubled their pipe weld throughput and produced high-quality results. Representing the team is Adam Holbrooks.
I've always wanted to come here for the apprentice school. I came for the apprentice school, and just welding. I didn't have much knowledge of it, and when I got to perform it, it's just something that like stuck with me. And I mean, honestly, before I became foreman, I really didn't want to move up to the position because it's an interesting skill trade. I work on nuclear-powered submarine because, I mean, not everyone gets to say that they get to step on a sub. I mean, Navy personnel and our employees that work here, when people think about, you know, nuclear, it's really your battery of the boat, you know. So nuclear piping is pretty much your piping that carries your fluids and everything from your reactor and kind of creates life for the boat. So you want to make sure that it's built tough, it's built, you know, top of the line. You got to think it's about roughly, you know, 200 foot long, and you have to cram everything into such a small compartment. So you're talking about miles and miles of pipe when just in a bunch of bundles pretty much. My team and I won the Model of Excellence Award for doubling the amount of nuclear X-ray joints that we welded in a year. I think we've welded on average around 200, 220, and back in 2021 we welded 425 joints. It's pretty amazing for what our craftsmen have been able to do. Just for the, you know, veterans that we have and mentoring our younger guys and bringing them up to speed so that they can help with this evolution. So this is no small feat. You know, we don't really keep count of how many joints we are welding day by day, but by the end of the year and getting nominated for this award, that's when we actually found out we welded 425 joints. So when you see the piping, it's pretty much imagine a spider web. Just someone trying to, you know, climb through a bunch of webs and trying to get to where you got to go. Imagine a welder doing that in a, you know, 1/2 inch to 3 inch piping that runs all over the place. It's not like it's in a straight line. You're pretty much wedding yourself and your body between a bunch of pipe. The criticality and the high performance of performing these jobs and getting these boats out on time is very important to us. And knowing that there might be, you know, men, women, my 2 girls could eventually work on these boats one day. And that's something that we stress quite often, just not knowing, you know, who's going to go down with the boat, and we want to make sure it comes back up. It makes me feel like I'm making a difference. I mean, for receiving this award, I've been here for 14 years, and this is honestly the first MOE I've ever received. I know it's quite a few for my welders also, and so I'm very proud of my team, and it's nice being recognized and seeing, you know, the smiles on my guys' faces and pretty much being noticed, you know, on what they've accomplished, and that, hey, maybe this will help spruce them for the next boat, you know, saying, you know, we got an award, maybe we can double what we did this past year. And so I think it'll help create goals and meet future milestones.
Congratulations to Adam and the Nuclear Pipe Welding team. Our next group of honorees looked out of the box to better lift submarine modules. While the shipyard has used little blue cars and manual blocking to lift modules in the past, the process has been time and labor intensive. Searching for a better way, our winners researched the bridge construction industry and adopted its cube jack system. Now, lifting modules is safer, faster, and more efficient. Here to explain the project is Jacob Siniger.
I'm basically here because I didn't really want to go to school. I wanted to work with my hands. It seemed like a good opportunity. So I came in the yard, and about 4 years ago ended up in the blocking crew, and I've basically stuck it out there since. We do all the heavy lifting in the shipyard. We join modules, jack up pads, jack up weapons, all the units and modules that need to get moved, we put our hands on and join them. And one of the most notable things we do is probably roll a full boat out of the MOF. You know, our jacks are capable of 100 tons apiece, and the car's 250 tons. And the average person doesn't understand how much weight that really is. So it is pretty unique to be able to lift these units in a full submarine, you know, with hydraulic rams or jacks. Some days it's hard work, but other days when we finish big jobs, you know, deliver a submarine, move carriers, stuff like that, it makes you proud of your work, makes you understand what you've been working towards all those hard days. It's satisfying. You get to see your end product, and that's enjoyable. So we won our Model of Excellence Award for using our new Enerpag cube jack system while jacking up the HAB unit. The HAB is the living quarters of the submarine, and this is a big game changer for us. It cuts our time in almost in half, setup and actual operation. It consists of 4 jacks. Each jack can lift 100 tons. They were actually designed for bridge construction, and our higher up or someone in our planning decided we should try it out and that it would work for us. So we got them, we used them on a few different jobs, and they've been extremely helpful. We used to have to install blue cars underneath of it. There was no rails, so it was a very difficult job for us. It involved a lot of pinch bars, a lot of bending over. It was a difficult job for us to do. And this new system, you can see behind me, they're much smaller. So it's much more easy for us to maneuver them underneath the unit, get them into place, and it made our life a lot easier underneath the boat. Compared to what we used to do, I think it's just a trial and error thing, and I think once we used our new system, everybody just liked it. So I think it's one of those things everyone just has to be open and be willing to try something new. And thankfully we have a crew that's very open to suggestions, and we all try to talk with each other. So once we tried something new and it works, we normally tend to keep it around. We have had things that we've tried that didn't work, and that's when you do go back to the old ways, but so far our new system's been really helpful. Being recognized is pretty important to us. This year we've actually won a few different awards for different things, this being the biggest, but it's been really enjoyable to realize that people are recognizing you and appreciating the work that our crew's been doing.
Congratulations, Jacob, and well done, team. With tolerances thin as one human hair, torpedo tubes are the most complex modules on Virginia-class submarines. Machining and outfitting these tubes requires precision and quality. Our next group of honorees applied lessons learned to develop a plan focused on execution. Please welcome George Perry to tell us more about this effort.
My uncle worked here, and he came into apprentice school. He was inside machinist. Cousin worked here also. That's kind of what drove me to come here. I'm from Carolina and they're Virginia, so I didn't really want to go to a college. I wanted to get into the trades, start working with my hands. And being able to work on the submarines, it's kind of, you see the small parts of kind of what I do, and then you get to see everybody else's small parts, and you get to see it all come together in the end of when the submarine's actually delivered to the Navy. The Model of Excellence Award for my group, or my team, was because of the scheduled cut from torpedo tube machining on the Virginia-class submarines. Day in and day out, it's almost a repetitive process because there are multiple torpedo tubes on each boat, but there is a process of machining you have to go to at first. So basically what we were doing, we were machining to a very tight tolerance. Some of those tolerances to the size of a human hair, and then we were pretty much outfitting and had to make sure we were putting all the components in the right places on the torpedo tubes to move to the testing phase on the forward end, the bow end of the module. So all torpedo tubes have to be done, and they have to be done correctly. So my team and I won this award based off of the past challenges and roadblocks that we've encountered. We were able to learn from those mistakes or issues that we've had previously, and move those into the next modules to kind of give us a one-up on what we need to do and where we need to be to deliver the submarines to the Navy on time. When we're actually doing the work and actually into our machining and stuff, it is very critical that our mind and eyes are on task at all times, so we make sure we are producing first-time quality, working safe. To me, it means a lot because it shows that people are watching, shows people do care, and they actually see what me and my team are doing. And one of my biggest things with winning the award is I don't want the award I know I can't let it drive me to say I'm the best. I've got to keep doing what I'm doing to make sure I'm doing the quality work. I can't let it get to me to act like I'm too great, pretty much, I guess you'd say, and pretty much where no one's better than me. And it's not just me, it is us. We are working together to the one goal to deliver a submarine, Virginia-class submarine, to the Navy. And I think that actually helps them understand and take pride in their work and gives them the motivation that they're not here alone, and they're here, they're part of a team, and they're doing it together, and that's what kind of helps everything mesh together.
Well done, George, and congratulations to the team. When tasked with repairing a 40-year-old radiological tank at the Kenneth A. Kesselring site, this group of winners knew planning and safety were key. The team created a full-scale mock-up to map out the steps required and developed new decontamination methods to ensure the safety of all involved. Here to share their results is Kevin Morgan.
For me, it's the only place that builds nuclear aircraft carriers and submarines in the world. So for me, it's, we're 1% out of the world that gets to do what we do and supply, great ships and war machines to be able to continually go around the world and keep our sailors safe and keep our country safe. 2018, I went up with the X-43 refueling group to Kesselring out in the Adirondack Mountains of New York. So it's kind of a hidden little valley up there where it's a small site, about 350, 400 Newport News Shipbuilding employees up there. And so we go through and we've done a complete RCOH overhaul and refueling of the submarine prototype that is the training prototype for the nuclear sailors for our Navy. So the team that I was working with was the Boilermakers and the sheet metal workers, the SIF personnel, a lot of union trades from New York, local guys, as well as some personnel from Newport News that were assisting as well. It was a huge undertaking. It was something that there have been other jobs with tanks and stuff like that that have been completed, but nothing to necessarily this magnitude that we were doing and the amount of time and the amount of pressure that we had, because this was a job that was done in addition to the RCOH. This was never planned. This was something that NR came to us. They saw the results from the inspection. They asked Newport News, hey, can you do this? We need you to do this. This needs to be done because this was it was 40 years old. So this tank had not been opened and not been entered and worked like this as well. So it was a big undertaking. It was a lot of pressure, for the personnel doing the work, but yet a situation to show that they can do the work and they were going to do the work efficiently, safely, and everything was executed smooth. We had minimal issues and came through everything efficiently and got it done completed, and so I was super proud for us up there and Kesselring in general to get a recognition of this magnitude, and I appreciate that somebody felt what we did and the job that we did up there was worth the recognition and the nomination, and realize the efforts and everything that the entire group did and put us in was phenomenal.
Great job, Kevin, and well done, team. First-class ships inherently involve risk, but this did not stop our next group of honorees from achieving top quality. Columbia-class shipbuilders used innovation and creativity to design and execute a new procedure for an important nuclear installation. Please welcome Derek Cruz to tell us more about the project.
I've been in the company for 15 years. I am here because I love to do hard stuff. I like the challenge. I like doing different things, challenging myself and building ships for my country. We've been given a great challenge to build this first Columbia-class submarine. The District of Columbia, we are working hand in hand with Electric Boat to build this great submarine for our nation, much larger than the Virginia class. And it has been an interesting ride, some ups and some downs, sometimes where you want to give up, sometimes where you want to push through. We have definitely banded together, formed a knit team, understood the goals, and went out to meet those challenges. The lead team had a challenge of understanding the nuances of the Columbia class lead core, understanding the things that we know from Virginia, understanding the differences on Columbia, and integrating a solution to that problem. We had many conversations in advance looking at ways we could do things differently, how we could do things faster, how we could make the situation better for those that are on the deck plate doing the work. The lead boots are an integral part of the reactor compartment. They both protect the sailors as well as are an integral part of the ship's performance. Without them, you literally cannot operate the ship. There is a very small group of people that are even qualified to do this work. They are a small team, but they work very well together. They all know their roles, they all have a role, and I actually had all the confidence in the world in the crew that does this work. They take great pride in what they do. They came down, they asked lots of hard questions to my engineering group. We worked through those details, we identified the problems that they saw, we performed mock-ups, they asked questions, we came up with solutions, we asked more questions of them, and we all worked together to accomplish the task. It really makes you feel good to be recognized for your successes, the team successes. We work hard each and every day, and it is a wonderful thank you to be recognized publicly for it.
Thank you, Derek, and congratulations to the team. An aircraft carrier's planned incremental availability requires careful preparation. Our next team went above and beyond for USS Gerald R. Ford's availability when reviewing the radiological controls required. After collecting data and evaluating risk, the team proposed a modern approach that reduced radiation exposure and improved efficiency. Representing the team is Mike Davidson.
What drew me here, I was really looking for an opportunity to work with nuclear engineering, any sort of radiological controls, just to work with reactor plants, and saw an opportunity and went after it. So the shipyard as a whole, the Gerald R. Ford, obviously first of a class, significant design changes across the board, and that included the reactor plant. It really set the stage for a challenge for the entire company. It's been a journey. She's made it through post-shakedown availability, through shock trials, through the planned incremental availability, and now she's going to go out and be used to protect the country, and will continue to do so. These ships are nuclear powered, and nuclear power demands a certain amount of respect, so I can't go into much detail about that. But it's a very powerful way to efficiently fuel a ship, and it takes an additional layer of scrutiny in order to ensure that it's properly managed. So we come in as radiological control and then the supporting departments and then nuclear engineering, we play a critical role in ensuring that anything associated with reactor plant maintenance or radiological controls is managed and done in a way that protects the 4 customers and meets all our regulatory guidelines. So with Nimitz class carriers, we really had kind of a playbook and a cadence associated with the work that we were doing. We really knew what to expect. We had gotten good at that work. With Ford class, it's a whole new host of challenges that continue to challenge our teams and kind of force us to step up our game to really continue to work towards efficiencies and move the program forward. It's exciting to see something that we, just take at face value every single day. This is what we're meant to do. I will tell you that when we were working through this, we really were just faced with doing what we thought was right, and we took a step back and realized, wow, this is pretty transformative. This is going to change the way that other shipyards in the Naval Nuclear Propulsion Program do work, and they're going to use this as an example of how to do it right. And that's really cool to walk away from and understand that we're really leading the way. We're the first ones to do it and kind of set the stage, and we'll continue to kind of carry that forward and hopefully create some momentum so that we can continue to see these efficiencies in the future. We're doing this work not to get recognized. This is really the team of individuals on each side and each department that really was a part of this. They're all doing this because they know it's the right thing to do, and they really believe in what we're doing and the foundation of what supports, moving things forward.
Thank you, Mike, and great job, team. Effective communication across the shipbuilding team is key to executing efficiently. The USS Columbus Fleet Support Team took this to heart when creating a new system for sharing information across the value stream. Now shipbuilders have easy access to inspection reports, work packages, and more. Here to tell us about the improved system is Tina Stimson.
Fleet support is submarine maintenance, so we've got ships in the fleet that need specific amounts of overhaul accomplished. Some are more extensive than others. The Columbus is an engineered overhaul. It's probably one of the largest maintenance activities that we perform here on submarine systems. You're essentially ripping out hull integrity valves and components, as well as the external hull and all supporting components and tanks, and refurbishing them. So we'd love there to be a playbook. I guess that's what makes it so fun, right? We start out with a plan, and we have to learn to make changes on the fly. Sometimes frustrating, sometimes fun, because the teams don't necessarily always think that they can make audibles and they can change their plan and they can be dynamic and flexible. And when they figure out that they can do that, I think they feel a element of success. And then we go on to the next plan. So every day is a new adventure around here. It's critical that we have the work ethic, the technical rigor, and the expertise built around the process so that we can understand and clear barriers quickly. So some years ago on the Columbus, we were dealing with a work set that was essentially unintegrated. Mechanics could pick up a body of work and go on to the ship, and soon to discover that they needed a multitude of additional things to actually start or complete any given job. What we did was utilized a team of subject matter experts, and we created a work package construct. They're not exactly work packages as identified in the RCOH world, but they're collector packages, and they define the full scope of work associated with any given job on the ship. So namely created huge visibility for the work teams and allowed us to build tools to work to KPIs and phase management structures that allow the deck plate teams, the production teams to be successful. When you first get assigned to something like this, the first thought that goes through my mind is, where do I start? And then, patience and, allowing people time to think and idealize about strategies and operating rhythms, and then being okay with allowing that to mature. But I think we have the right behaviors, and we continue to train on those right behaviors to improve every day, learn every day, and continue to work within the operating rhythm that we created. Yeah, so, we look at this as one win, right? It was a huge improvement for the Columbus. It rolled into further improvements and maturation of the program. So for me, it's to just show people that even if you have an idea, get it in front of the right person, take the time to mature it, because eventually it can change the outcome of a program or of a business. So I think it's an encouraging point for some people who think their voice isn't heard, or whatever they're thinking about can't become a reality. This was just an idea, and a lot of hardworking people made it real.
Thank you, Tina, and congratulations, team. When pipe storage in the North Yard met its limit, a diverse team found a long-term solution. In moving 9,500 pipe details off-site, these honorees expanded the shipyard's indoor storage to keep materials safe. Representing the team is Michael Hardy.
I see the big picture. I served 29 years in the military and deployed out different places, and so I saw the end product of equipment that was made for Army personnel, and so it just goes right along with the building of ships and the end product for our nation's security. I've worked in warehouse environments from Germany to Belgium, Saudi Arabia, so throughout the world, and it has a uniqueness in it, because you spend more time here than you spend with your families. This warehouse is unique in itself because it's the pipe field, which of course for the aircraft carriers and the subs that we built, piping systems run throughout. You couldn't have nuclear powered anything without piping systems. Our team award was for moving over 9,800 pipe details from the North Pipe Field across from Dry Dock 12, which was an outside warehouse. And so the practice had been to just to fabricate the pipe and store it outside. It had been that way for years. But the problem with that was over a period of time, because of the weather conditions, some of the pipe details deteriorated. When the wind would blow, pickup storms would come right, that James River was pouring right over on the piping systems itself. And of course, piping systems and water does not mix. And so we needed to find some place to store it on the inside, and plus relocate so the real estate could be given to someone else. And so we sit down and we came up with a controlled movement plan, and we just started to build from there. Start asking the questions of what, when, where, why, and how to do it, and just start putting it together. It was over 9,800 details that had to be moved, and it was just it was astronomical, because you had various shapes and sizes, and some of it was heavy walls, so it could only be lifted by cranes. From just looking at it from a glance, you would ask yourself, how in the world are we going to do this? And so what we did was we loaded it up on various trailers and trucks and maintained positive control. It would leave from the North Yard and it would come straight here, and of course we'd be here to facilitate the offloading and the storing of it here, which was cost effective because you didn't have to worry about rework and the mechanic being able to receive the pipe from us and of course take it straight to the job and assemble it. The team that we had assembled, we'd been together for a while, and so we knew the inner workings, we knew one another, how we worked. We worked well together, and so we monitored one another as far as safety. We just kind of stayed with the day-to-day plan. It just, words can't express, how I felt when I found out that we were being nominated. I mean, because again, you see the little small part that you think that you're playing, and sometimes you think that no one is actually watching. And so to be recognized, especially from my team members, I just can't say enough about them and the dedication and commitment that I've seen them put forth. The 1st Infantry Division has a motto. It's called "No mission too difficult and no sacrifice too great." And I saw them live up to that, every word of that. And so it's just hard to put into words how I feel about our team being recognized for the hard work, effort, and dedication that was put into this project.
Thank you, Michael, and way to go, team. Ford-class aircraft carriers are the world's largest, most complex ships at sea. Their advanced weapons elevators are vital to Navy operations, lifting and lowering weapons to the flight deck. Recognizing their importance, shipbuilders developed the elevator's digital twin to make testing quicker, easier, and more efficient. Please welcome Greta Alvesteffer to tell us about the team's innovative technology.
My dad used to work at Newport News Shipbuilding many years ago, so I kind of figured I'd follow in his footsteps and just kind of apply for my internship and just see where it takes me. When I was accepted for the internship, I was placed into Dogfish Labs as part of the research and development team, and I kind of loved what I did from the very beginning. We worked on a lot of different stuff, a lot of emerging technologies, a lot of proof of concepts, testing out what we can, and then I accepted a full-time position from there. But yeah, well, I definitely have the range to do what I can as part of research and development. We're almost, I don't want to say given free rein, but we kind of choose our own paths and what to research and what to look into, especially as we're emerging technology. And as DFL we're always open to what people need, especially down in the yard, or what can benefit other shipbuilders. So we're always paying attention to that. And once we find something that works, then we kind of really grasp onto that and maybe flesh it out a little bit more. There's more facets to it. You know, what other projects can we attach to it? How can we make this spread as far as we can? We won the Model of Excellence Award for creating a visualization tool for the advanced weapons elevators on Ford-class carriers. So AWEs is the acronym for Advanced Weapons Elevators. The weapons elevator brings the weapons up to the flight deck and brings them back down below deck. You can't really have an aircraft carrier without them. And what we did as part of the team kind of originated from an ask, like, how can we make a visualization tool for these elevators and for all the Navy people that are on board the ships who don't really understand what's going on. We want to identify challenges on board these ships, and the weapons elevators are huge. They're huge, and you can't see them very well. Obviously, they're behind walls, so you can't see what's going on. So what we wanted to do is take the real ship controls that we have and use those to visualize what's happening in real time. And that's definitely helping to identify issues inside the elevator, or as a training tool for Navy people who are using these very thick tech manuals with lots of documentation pages that probably don't make a lot of sense. So what we're doing is making their lives a little easier, kind of helping them see what they need to and visualize in their mind when they're on their ship trying to figure out what's going on. That was kind of the origin of our project, so to say, is we wanted to use this tool to identify the challenges on board the ship before it gets to be a major cost issue. You know, before it's fully implemented, we wanted to figure out the issues now, small scale, and so people could view it, and then we'd fix it and put it on the carriers and kind of create a better process in the future, get more cost efficient, get kind of transform the business, so to say. And in order to be recognized, it was definitely a surprise, but we were a close-knit team. There's only a couple of us, and I know there were many times where we'd spend weeks together working in this small lab and just, you know, scratching our heads like, well, this isn't working, why isn't it working? And we'd spend hours in there just trying different things to make it work. You know, you take one step and you say, look at this went really well. What can I do better next time? What's the next big step that I can take? What can I learn from what I did here and apply it to the next thing? So for me, it's like, okay, this is great. Now, what can I do now? Is there any way we can further this project along? What better things can we do for the shipyard?
Thank you, Greta, and congratulations to the team on this achievement. Shipbuilders will witness innovation in Dry Dock 12. Thanks to our final group of honorees. When construction of aircraft carriers Enterprise and Doris Miller was threatened by pandemic-related supply chain delays, this team developed a plan to build the carriers side by side, a sight to behold in the North Yard. Here to talk about this new approach is John Anderson.
Newport News Shipbuilding is special to me because this is where I've grown up and built my career here as a shipbuilder. It's the work we do here every day that's so meaningful to our community and our country, and the pride we take in building these great vessels and seeing them come and go out of our yard. The dry docks are unique facilities that are vital to our country. You know, this is the place where carriers are born for the United States of America. This dry dock is very special because it's the largest dry dock of its type in the NAVSEA inventory. It's the largest dry dock in North America. So the dock is unique in that it's 2,173 foot long. It's an enormous graving dock. That allows you the ability to construct multiple vessels at one time and launch them. So the dock was not designed for carrier construction. It was designed for commercial ship construction, but those days have passed. We now have to maximize the dock's potential for carrier construction. As shipbuilders, we need to find solutions. And part of the challenge here was to be able to maintain the schedule of CVN 81 with the 2-ship buy and be able to launch CVN 80. So the team was tasked with looking at various options to accomplish that goal. And one of the things we realized was we could leverage our facilities through a few modifications to help keep those schedules on track. So the plan is tapping into something we've done in the past and going back into our history where we have built carriers in this dock completely while building another one in part. So the plan for 80 and 81 now, the innovative idea that we're doing is to construct the entire CVN 80 on the outboard end of the dry dock while constructing CVN 81 on the inboard end of the dry dock. And we're going to accomplish that through some facility modifications that allow us to float out one vessel while constructing the other one in a safe manner. This was done in the past, but both vessels had to be floated. Our new modifications allow us to float out one vessel while the other one stays dry and no interruptions to construction of 81 while launching 80. Yeah, it was definitely not expected to be recognized for an MOE for this effort. We've launched plenty of carriers out of this dry dock, but representing the team in this video is important to me. I think it's an honor, and recognition is important. It's very important to everybody involved. We all take great pride in seeing the ships get out of the dry dock. That's plenty of reward for a lot of us, but the recognition means that we're being recognized for what we've done to come up with a solution. Shipbuilding is an art, as we all know, and there's challenges for building ships, and it's just like every day. You got high tides and low tides, and that applies to life as well, but every tide's a tide of opportunity. So we got to look at these challenges as opportunities to show everybody in the world what we're capable of.
Thank you, John. And thanks to the team for keeping carrier construction strong. Congratulations to all 273 Model of Excellence honorees. And thank you for leading the way.